Hey guys, Brandon here with All About DIY coming to you on a Sunday. What's going on, everybody? I hope you have a good weekend so far anyways. Okay, so in today's video, as you can see by the title, it is 75-gallon rescape or not. The not being I decided to change it at the end because I was using gravel from my backyard and I'm pretty sure the cat peed in it and the fish did not like that. So anyways, let's get to it. Alright, so in this first section, this is how the tank was set up originally, or at least not originally, I would say, but at least for a little while, and I just kind of get sick of it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out all the wood, and then, then I'll clean off all the stuff that was under the wood, obviously, so it's a nice clean bare bottom tank before I start. Madison actually came up with the idea to put gravel in it, and I was ready for a change, so I was all for it. I had a tub of just some, small 2-3 millimeter gravel out back, and like I said in the intro there, I think the cat might have peed in it. I washed it thoroughly in a 5-gallon bucket before I put it in, as you should do with every, um, you know, bit of sand or gravel that you get. So it's always a good idea to rinse it and make sure it's clean before you put it in. But still, the fish the next day, they didn't look very good. They were all stressed out. They weren't eating, so that's what kind of prompted this video. I sort of just took all that stuff out just to, I don't know, just to put it back the way it was, because I just felt like the fish weren't having it. They just didn't seem to like it at all. So, what are you going to do, Alright, sorry about the camera angle here. It's kind of hard to get a nice angle and put the gravel in at the same time. Don't have a lot of space in the old garage, so this is the best we got. And then I ended up putting about 80 pounds of this gravel in, and it actually looked really good. I liked it a lot. I'm a fan of gravel, and I'm also a fan of bare bottom tanks as well. I think they look nice and clean. It's an easy way to tell, if you got some weird stuff going on in your tank. As far as with your fish, it's really easy to see them. It's really easy to clean. It just gets dirty fast, and you can just see the amount of waste your fish produce with the bare bottom, which I like. And it always keeps the water super clean too, so that's always good. So yeah, here I am putting the wood back in a different arrangement. I find that when you're using gravel, it's really easy to aquascape your tank with wood and rocks and things like that because they tend to stay in place with the gravel, whereas the bare bottom tank, they want to slide around and they don't want to stay put, so it makes it a little easier. Plus they look more natural when they have gravel, so I like that too. So all the wood's back in. Fish are kind of checking it out. Water's still murky as to be expected. And I was hopeful at this point. They looked like they were kind of scoping it out. They looked like they seemed to like it. They were finding their old hiding spots and stuff like that. So it was cool to see. I was happy with it at this point. I'm gonna do a quick gravel back on it just to get the fine debris out and just kind of make sure it's as clean as it can be. Um, Starting out, I guess you could say. If any of you have ever had Oscars, you know that they get really bummed out when you start messing with the tank. They lay on their side and pout and hide in the corner, all stuffed together, touching each other, and just feeling really bad for themselves. It's pretty hilarious. Although mine seem to be kind of active right now, kind of checking stuff out, seeing what I'm doing. So yeah, I got all the air back in place. Trying to set it up and make it look as good as possible. I don't really like when you can see a bunch of airline tubing and stuff like that. It sort of takes away from like the natural look. Although I wasn't going for like this nicely aquascape tank or anything. It's just kind of my Brutus tank, as I call it. Just all my big fish go in that bad boy. It's kind of too small for them, which I'll end up rehoming them eventually or finding a bigger tank for them or something like that. But I really like my fish, so I have to get rid of them. All right, so this is the next day after the water's cleared up. That next morning, I find that the tank is always the cleanest in the morning because the fish haven't been stirring things up and stuff like that. So yeah, so they're kind of, I mean, in the morning they're usually more active than this. They're usually just about jump out of the tank for food, and they just weren't. They just kind of were laying on the bottom, just not really looking so hot. So this is when I made the decision. Of course, it was before I had to go to work, so I had to let them sit in there all day, but they survived it. So anyways, yeah, I didn't like it, so I ended up taking it out, and this is how I took it out. I just used a half-inch vinyl tube, the same that you would use for, your water swaps and things like that. And you can just suck that gravel right out of the tank, right into a bucket. It's really easy to take it out once you've gotten all your wood out and stuff like that. And when you have plants and things like that, it becomes a little bit more difficult because you have to worry about roots. And the smart way to take all of that stuff out is just, or to not take all the stuff out, but to switch from gravel to bare bottom or whatever you want to do is just take everything out. There's just no other way to do it in my mind. So obviously here I am getting the last bit of it out, and the tank already looks cleaner. I mean, the water it's more of a bluish color rather than this brownish yellow color. And as you can see behind that little air filter there's a clown loach stuffed in there, so he's not having it. So it was a good idea to take that gravel back out. They seem to like it much better without that gravel. So there it is. I'm also going to scrape the back of the tank here in a minute. It looks horrible, so sorry about that. But yeah, the fish are already doing better. They're already um, got their colors out. They're already looking pretty good. So it was a good decision in the end. Yeah, I kind of liked it like this. I actually left it like this for a couple days because I could, monitor the fish really well and see what kind of waste they produce on a daily basis, which is a lot, by the way. Any of you have ever had Oscars, you know that they're very messy, among other larger cichlids as well. So, I mean, the amount of poop and things like that that accumulated over the couple days was just crazy. I didn't realize it was that much because some of it gets stuck under the wood, and if you have gravel, it just kind of settles in, and you just really can't tell. So that's what I like about bare bottom tanks. Easy to clean, easy to monitor. Um, I don't really recommend it for species that like to hide. As many species of catfish, clown loaches like to hide, fish like that. It just kind of, I feel like it's not very good for them to just be in a bare bottom tank with no hiding places. So here it is back with the wood, and you can see that's after 3 days. All that debris on the bottom is 3 days. So keep up on your maintenance because there's a lot of waste and not so savory things in your tank after that little period of time. So keep up on it. And that's how nasty the water is just after 3 days. So it gets bad quick, especially if you're kind of overstocked like me. It's good idea to keep up on your maintenance regularly. And then here we are just kind of pulling some of the debris out of the corners, making sure it's nice and clean. Can't stand when my tank's dirty. And this is just with the felt tip. A lot of scrapers come with interchangeable tips, usually a metal scraper, a plastic scraper, and some sort of foam or felt pad for, like acrylic or things like that. But I like to use it for the bottom because it gets all that kind of just accumulated algae and detritus off the bottom. You can get it off real easy, so that's what I use for that. And here in a second, I'm going to feed them to show you the difference in attitude just from taking the gravel out, which made me realize that that was a good idea, in fact, to take it out because it looked pretty damn good. But, it's all about the fish, not so much me. So, well, anyways, guys, if you're if you have a tank and it's bare bottom and you want to put gravel in it, or if you have a tank with gravel in it and you want it bare bottom, it's very easy. Wash your gravel or sand really well, and you know, you just put it in the tank and just do everything really slow, and that keeps the water from becoming real stirred up and murky, and it'll clear up a lot faster, and you'll be a lot happier with the results a lot faster. Um, yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know. Um, you know, this I think would have went a lot better if I had some nice brand new clean gravel. I think it would have been fine, but yeah, like I said, it was just sitting out back, and I think the cat might have peed in it, and yeah, it's just fish don't like that. So anyways, yeah, as you can see, they're much more perky. I mean, they're hungry, they're swimming around, they're just, you can just tell that they're much happier without that gravel. So that is a definite plus. Alright guys, well, that's the end of this video. Nothing too spectacular, but I just wanted to kind of show you that I kind of messed up, I guess. But I changed it back, made it right. It's all good. Fish are happy. I tried. So, you know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes, you know, to figure stuff out, you just got to try it. If it fails, then, well, you just change it, make it better, and make sure your fish are happy. That's always the most important thing. So keep that in mind. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time.